All right, let's roll. Here we go. Getting into our last unit of statistics. I did mention during the probability unit, yes, these last 2 units are last for a reason in algebra 2 because they're probably the toughest. But on the good news side, most of this unit can be done on your calculator. But unfortunately, it's something new buttons on your calculator. What am I trying to get at? If you do miss a day, you're going to miss a whole thing on how to use my calculator for these problems. All right, which you only can make up by watching the video, and I know that's not a big thing to do in this class. So, all right, it is so easy, but we don't take advantage of it for some reason. All right, so here's day 1. First period, we got through the notes and finished the assignment all in one. So hopefully we can do the same thing here. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to figure out, on average, how many hours of sleep everybody in Del Mar gets. All right? That's what I would like to do. Find out, on average, entire community, adults, children, on average, how many hours of sleep they get. Well, I'm going to run into a problem. Am I going to get to every single person in this town? No. Absolutely not, right? That's virtually impossible. Not impossible, but almost as close as you can get. So what I'm going to have to do is not try to get to everybody, but get to a smaller size of people in Del Mar. And that smaller size of people is what's called my sample. That's your first vocabulary term I want to introduce, is a sample. Because everybody is impossible. So instead, I got to narrow it down. Maybe I get to 1,000 people in the community. All right, so my smaller group is called my sample. My bigger group, the community of Del Mar, that's called my population. All right, that's everybody that I want to study is called the population. But it's impossible, so I got to narrow my search down to a smaller group called the sample. All right, so population is everybody I'm studying. Sample is a small group from the population. All right, that's the first big thing I want to do with you today. Let's read a problem. I'll call on somebody. Hey, what's the population? What's the sample in this one? All right, so read about the gas mileage here in part A. Remember, population, the entire, who am I studying? And the sample, the smaller group from the population. All right, I won't call on anybody yet. Let's do this one as a group. The population here. Who? Now, I don't want to know what I'm studying. I don't care. Who am I studying here? Or what am I studying? I don't want to say who because it's not always people. Elliot, who's the bigger group here I'm testing?
The gasoline mileage of new cars sold in the US.
Okay, you told me what and who. I'm just looking for the who.
New cars sold in the US.
New cars in the US. Everyone said that's who I'm testing. New cars in the US. Not very easy to do, so I got to narrow it down a little bit to my sample, which is what? What's my sample of cars I'm going to test here?
The test group of new cars?
Well, my sample, I can't do all the new cars, so instead I'm only going to do 845, which is a little bit more doable. So population is everybody, but that's not going to happen usually, so I just got to take a smaller piece of that. All right, read through part B, and then I'll start calling on people about the old city council. Who's the population here, and what's my sample? Everyone's here today, huh? Got all 19 of you here. So what's my population here? What's my don't tell me about planning rezoning. That's what I know. That's what we're trying to figure out. That's not the population or sample. All right? Population. Overall, what's the group I'm looking at? 10. Hello.
The population of the town that choose
So who am I looking at here? Who am I looking at asking about the rezoning? Overall, who am I looking at?
the constitute.
Okay, you can write the constituents, however you say that word, whatever. Constituents, fine. Okay, you got me there. Okay, sorry, that's why I'm in a math room. All right, go ahead, bust my stones about it. I don't care. All right, whatever. Constituents. All right, good. Yep, good. We're all perfect in here. I forgot. I forgot. I'm teaching all perfect students. Sorry. My bad. Yes, you could say all the constituents. I'm going to go a little bit further and say everyone in the phone directory. Okay, everyone in the phone directory.
Can we say constituents?
Yeah, that's fine.
You can spell it.
Forgot it. We had all the vocabulary bee champions all in one class. All right, well, I'm not taking that time, right? Nobody's taking that time to call everybody in the phone directory. So let's narrow down our group to what's our sample in this one then? 15?
75 names from the phone.
There you go. 75 names from the directory. Usually, if you want to start with your sample, because that's the easier one to find, that'll lead you to the population. You're going to make it here? All right. I don't need like a couple hairballs coming up here.
I'm sorry.
Relax.
I have a cold.
Yeah. Wah, I'm sick. Wah.
Oh.
All right, suck it up, everybody. Jesus. Everyone. Yep, it's December. Everyone has sniffles. Yep, suck it up.
She's called you out.
All right. Read through part C here. Population sample. Pediatrician. All right, how about the population here? Overall, big group we're studying. 8 population.
Population is 10, or population is the whole thing of it. So all the patients.
Not the patients here. Be careful. I don't want the patients. I want their parents. Right? Yes, parents. Yep. Yep.
All the pediatricians.
So we say patients, parents here. A lot of P's.
Parents.
Okay, that's why I selected that one. We're not looking at the patients here. We're asking their parents. Too many for me to ask, so instead I'm only going to ask a little sample of them. One. One.
Oh, you did. Okay. 10 parents.
10 parents. Thank you. Yep.
Sorry, guys. Do not forget them.
10 parents. Okay, great. So now we know narrowing it down as my sample, overall as my population. Now the next question is going back to my how many hours of sleep does everyone in Delmar have? How am I going to figure this out? Well, I got my sample now. Let's say 1,000 people I'm going to ask. How am I going to do this? All right. One way. I'm going to show you 3 ways I could collect this information. 3 ways. First way is a survey. All of us, I'm sure, have done it. You get a sheet of paper, something, a Google form, whatever. You fill out some questions, answer them, and then there you go. There's your survey, which is probably what I would want to do with my sleeping example. Anybody heard of the census before?
Yeah.
Every 10 years, right? Something comes home. How many people do you have there? What's their ages, etc. Yeah, that's an example of a survey. Second way I could collect info, experimental study. And then could you do me a favor in parentheses? This is sometimes referred to as a controlled experiment. What happens here? You take 2 groups. You got your test group and your blank group, as I call it. All right, say you have developed a new pill, a new type of medicine, a cure for an uncurable disease later on in life, because we have some scientists in this class. Controlled experiment. You give one the drug, the medicine, the cure, and the other group you give a blank, a placebo as it's called, yes. And you compare the results. All right, this is called the controlled experiment. You control what happens. You have an effect over what happens. All right? So I have a survey. I could do a controlled experiment where I separate the groups myself and I have total control over it. Or a third one, which not many people have heard, is, you know what? I'm just going to observe. Okay? I'm going to observe. So I have an example there. Does an SAT prep course result in higher SAT scores? Instead of me sending out a survey, which people may or may not answer honestly, ethically, I'm not going to put you in two groups and give one a prep course and one not and say good luck on the SATs. So instead, here's what I'm going to do. What's called an observational study, where I'll let you do the prep course and the SAT, and I'm going to look at the results at the end. All right, let me look at all the SAT scores, who took the course, who didn't. I have no effect over this. I'm just literally observing. All right, no effect or control over it at all. So those are the three ways I can collect some info. So read through number one, and then you're going to do the rest in your groups here. So out of those three I just described, which one is collecting data where the researcher intentionally intervenes to arrange for a comparison of results? The researcher has effect over it. Which one are we looking at here?
Oh, wait.
What do we got here?
Yeah. Number 4.
Isn't it?
Intentionally intervening.
You can do multiple, right?
No, it's just going to be one here. Conduct a controlled experiment.
Yeah.
Are we okay?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's not 1 and 3 because it's like the first one filling it out, not the.
Correct. Survey, you have you have it,
I know.
right? Okay. In your groups right now, see what you can do with 2, 3, and 4. We'll get back in about a minute and a half. 2, 3, and 4.
A doctor has the test because of a new drug on her patients. She separates her samples of patients into 2 groups and administers the drug to only one. She then compares the results. Which type of study best describes this situation? Controlled experiment. Yeah.
This is like the first
Guys, a school cafeteria has 5 different locations. The cafeteria staff needs to find out which item on the menu is popular. So they give every student in the first lunch period a list of questions to answer in order to collect it.
It's the first lunch period. So that's just like a representative group of what? Yeah.
So why is that population?
Hopefully with these 3 examples, you guys are noticing the difference between the 3 ways to collect info. Separate her sample of patients into 2 groups. Only administer the drug to 1 group. What are we doing here? 15, what are we doing here?
4.
Controlled experiment. Thank you. Thank you.
Wait, why do you record ours if you only post like first period?
What's that?
He chooses from the 2, I think.
No, I don't.
So which one do you post?
I used to choose first period. I don't know why, but then I was like, they get the rough draft of me. So
Oh.
you guys get like this is like cake right now. You know, it's all kind of glitchy first period going through it for the first time, and now it's just let's roll. All right, what about 3? I heard a lot of good talk here because you knew it was a survey. But then all of a sudden you had to reread it and say, whoa, I'm only giving it to first period lunch and I'm doing 5 periods total. So am I doing the whole population? Nope, I'm only doing a sample of it. Sample survey. And then number 4, we're just watching surveillance video and checking how many times people use their phones. Are you affecting anything?
No.
Absolutely not. So this is an observational study. Okay, observational study. You're just watching. You are not affecting anything. Okay, we all good? Okay, last thing we got to do. You know how to select the people, sample and population. You know how to get the info. So what info are we going to look at? And this is probably a little review, but with a new aspect to it. Mean, median, mode. Mean, you guys know, is the average. Median is the middle, which means 50% are above that number and 50% are below. And then mode, most common. Good news though, I'm going to show you how your calculator can produce these. And I'm not talking get a blank screen and type them in and divide by how many. Okay, even though it does say without a calculator, baloney. I'm starting right away with how to use your calculator. All right, see our first set of numbers. Find the mean, median, mode. All right, everyone ready? Because this is totally brand new. We need to put these numbers into a list into your calculator. First thing, how do I get to the list to put these numbers in? Take a look at your buttons. Everyone see stat button? Yeah. Look at that. Short for statistics. Stat button. So we hit our stat button. You got some choices, same as I have up here. How do I get to the list? Choice 1, edit. Stat, edit. Now, before I move on, you will see probably 5 lists, 4, there's 6 total. There's no need for list 3 through 6 ever in this unit. We're just going to stick with list 1 and sometimes list 2.
Wait, how do you clear out?
Okay, let me move before I move on. Some of you guys may or may not have numbers in there. To clear out a list real quickly, you highlight it like I have it right now. Clear. Don't hit delete or you're going to just wipe out the entire list, never to be seen again. Clear, enter to wipe out the numbers. Don't even worry about it. Don't even sniff it. Everyone's got a blank list, correct? Yes. All right, so now we got to go back and type those numbers into the list. So our first number is what?
9.
Okay, so you just 9, enter, boom, there it. Yep, let me put it on. What's going on here?
9.
Yep.
9.
Wait, is it because you remember how to clear it again?
Stat,
Oh my God.
edit,
Oh my God.
highlight L1, clear, enter. They should all wipe out. There we go. I'm back in business.
Back. Wait, so if you were to delete this thing, it would never ever.
I can get it back. 11.
No, I did it.
Go ahead.
5.
I'm catching up. I know. I got it right in front of me. Thank you.
10, 15.
All right. I know you're not going to like hearing this, but please check to make sure the numbers are typed in correctly. Here's why I say that. You guys punch these numbers in your calculator like you're sending a text to somebody. Here's the problem, though. You know what your calculator doesn't have? Autocorrect. All right? I even do it myself. That 11 turns into a 1. All right? Because I got the big sausage fingers and I hit all these different kind of buttons at the same time. All right? So the 11 becomes a 1 and then throws off all my results. So please make sure. Also, a little trick here. How many numbers should you have typed in? If you just count them real quick. 8 numbers. Does everyone see how I'm on the next blank and right here it says 9? Yeah. So that means, hey, you're on the 9th one right now. So yeah, you typed in 8. That's another way to check. All right, next. How do I get mean and median? Go back to stat. Don't worry, these aren't going anywhere. They're going to stay there. Go back to stat. Over to calculate now. Go to the right over to calculate. And this is where we're going to be for the entire unit. 1 variable stats, abbreviated 1 var stats. So 1 var stats. Now your calculator's asking, hey, what list should I look in? Where did you put your info so I can calculate this? And we only used list 1. Yep, so make sure you have L1 in there. There's nothing to worry about for frequency because there's only 1 list. So make sure that's blank. And then calculate. Enter. Well, we will during this unit. You'll understand what it means, most of this. All right, during the course of the unit, we're going to talk about most of these values. Right now, there's one value I'm worried about. Here we go, the mean. And this is the last time you and I write down the word mean. We're going to now go by its symbol, which is X bar with the bar over the X. Everyone see where that value is? It's the first one on there. So your mean, your average of these numbers, 9.375. Next, it's asked for the median, which is also on there. There's no symbol for median, sorry. You can abbreviate it MED if you want.
So where?
Okay, where's that?
Scroll down.
Scroll down, everybody. You can keep, there's other values other than the ones on your screens. Keep scrolling down. 9.5. And then the final value I'm going to ask for today is the mode. And unfortunately, your calculator can't do everything for you.
Oh man.
What's the mode again?
Middle.
The one
No,
the one that happens the most often. And do you notice one that happens the most often here? No. So if everything happens once,
An A.
no mode. There is no mode. All right. Anything before we get on to the next one? Because it's a little bit different, the next one. All right, let's go. Next one. Now I'm using what's called a frequency table. And I just want to make sure you understand it before you boom, 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 type it in the calculator. What is this table telling me? I got a score of 56. Not once.
4 times.
Frequency tells me how many times? 4. Don't write it down, but if I had a list, like in the last problem, you'd see this. 56, 56, 56. Followed by how many times does 73 come up? 9 73s. All right, that's what this table means. I can put both into a list, though. Hey, I just came in late. How do I get to this list? Stat. Edit. Now, let's clear out everything in L1. Highlight L1. Clear. Enter. Everything should go. Again, please don't hit delete. It'll delete literally the whole list. And you'll just have L2 in there. All right, go ahead. Type in your scores. Just type in the scores. 56. Yep, one time each. 73. One time each. I'll show you what the calculator can do. 82. 86. But I still have to put in how many times each happened. And that goes in L2 now, the frequency. L2 can go in the frequency. Just make a quick scan real quick, make sure all the numbers in. Sometimes a double-digit number becomes a single digit because we're going too quick. And it looks, we're good on my end here. Everyone have them typed in? All right, where do I go now to calculate the mean and median? Stat, where next? Where do I get that? I don't see that. Calc. 1 var stats. Now, how do you think things are going to change now? Yeah, now that you have it in 2 different lists, L1, and now I got to tell the calculator also look in list 2. Now, how do I get L2? Everyone look above your 2 button. Everyone see L2 right above there.
Oh my god.
Second 2. Now, stop. If you're about to do a problem on the assignment in a couple minutes and you only use 1 list, that's got to get deleted out of there. So make sure you clear it out of there. You have to tell the calculator how many lists you're in, whether it's 1 or both of them. Okay? And then go ahead, calculate, and you'll see the same screen we've had up before, just with new numbers. Okay, so the mean, X bar, about 75.6. We'll round to the nearest tenth here.
Should we put the X bar thing above it?
Yeah. Just X by itself is not the mean.
Well, it's 6 repeating.
No, that bar. No, I'm fine. How about the median? 78 is the middle number. And again, don't look for the mode Be a big boy, big girl about this. What number occurs the most? 7. What's up, Alexa?
Are we ever rounding?
I'll tell you when to round, yeah. Usually there should be rounding directions, yes. If not, just go nearest 10. You'll be fine. Mode 73. Questions? All right, go ahead in your group. Let's get this done. Somebody, multiple people, have a Chromebook open. Open up to our answer key on Classroom. Let's do it. Get it done and check it. You're all set for today. Hurry up. Get it done and check it. You'll be all set.
Number 3.